calf muscle problems can cause pain and tightness. They can also reduce your flexibility and balance and can often cause pain and cramps at night. The good thing is that quality massage can help that dramatically. But to get that done regularly by professionals is obviously very expensive and would mean continually making appointments. The good thing is that there's really effective, easy to do home massages that can give great results, but without the expense and inconvenience. So in this video I'll go over them step by step to get you started. Now when I do a video like this, I sit down and work out everything you need to get really great results and to stay safe. So I'll start with a bit of background to help you find the problems and massage more effectively. I've then got some pointers to keep you safe and some strategies to give you better long-term results. Then finally I'll show you the massage techniques. Now let's start with the main problem you'll be massaging. Now because you use your calf muscles a lot, they tend to get tight, and when they're tight they pressure on the blood vessels, reducing the blood flow. Now with the blood flow reduced, there's less oxygen and a build-up of waste products, so parts of your muscle almost get toxic. Now when that happens, those parts of your muscle start to spasm and cramp up, forming the lumps that therapists find. Now the big problem is that cramping or spasming tightens the muscles more, further restricting blood flow, so those tight lumps tend to get worse over time. Now scientists call this a positive feedback loop, or commonly a vicious circle. Now your main goal with self-massage is to relax these tight lumps, taking the tension off the muscle and allowing the blood to flow better. This is called trigger point therapy or trigger point release. Now I promised you a strategy to help get better long-term results. If you've had any experience with trigger points, you'll understand that you can have sessions of trigger point therapy, needles, lasers or whatever, and feel better, but the pain usually always comes back. Now the reason that happens is that those therapies relax the trigger points a bit, which is enough to relieve the pain, but if you leave it, they'll gradually retighten. Now I've got a full article about this linked in the description, but basically what you need to do is once the pain is relieved, keep going with the massages to further relax the trigger points, and hopefully they go all together. Now of course, if you have a professional do this, it would cost a fortune. That's why I recommend self-therapies. So let's show you how to do those therapies. Now I'll demonstrate on my forearm first because it's easy to see, and then I'll do them on my calf muscles. Now the first thing you need to do is find the problems. Now start using the flats of your fingers, going systematically over your muscles, looking for general areas of tightness and tenderness. Now once you find an area that's a bit tight and tender, you can use one or two fingers to explore a bit more deeper. Now what you're looking for is tight bands of muscle and tender lumps that shoot pain when you're pressing them. They're likely to be the trigger points. Now for safety I need to tell you that this is for general information only, and you need to get specific advice from a professional familiar with your own needs. Now this goes a bit extra for calf muscles, because if you have a condition called deep vein thrombosis and massage your calf muscles, it can kill you. Now with this condition, massage can dislodge blood clots which end up blocking the blood vessels to your lungs. The other issues where professional help can be extremely important is you can have biomechanical problems that cause extra stress on your calf muscles. And that means that straight after your massage they'll retighten. You'll need a qualified person such as a chiropractor or a podiatrist to help you with this. Now the last thing is, behind your knees you have a lot of nerves and blood vessels. Now I want you to imagine a diamond shape behind your knee like this and a void inside it. Now in my videos and articles I like to show you 3 very effective home massage techniques. Now the first one is one that mimics the stroking techniques professional therapists use. Now I'll demonstrate it on my forearm. Now with this technique you lubricate the skin with some sort of oil, apply pressure and slowly move along the muscle like you're squeezing out an old sponge, which is basically what you're doing. You're squeezing out the old fluids and allowing your muscle to fill with fresh blood. Now when you do this technique, you work systematically to cover your whole muscle. Now you can start with moderate pressure and then gradually get it deeper. And if you come to a really tight spot or trigger point, you can stop and hold the pressure for 5 to 10 seconds before moving on. And the final one is you always massage towards your heart. Now the reason for this is the veins and lymphatic vessels that drain the fluids have one-way valves. Now if you massage away from your heart, you'll be forcing the fluids to run way through these valves. I've seen instruction videos where they show you to massage in the opposite direction. To be perfectly blunt, it's ignorant and highly dangerous. Those one-way valves are very flimsy, and if you bugger them up, the veins and fluid draining on your legs will no longer work. You can't fix them, and your calves will fill up with blood and fluid. Now, the second massage technique I'll give you is a variation of the pressure release techniques where a therapist will apply deep, painful pressure until the pain fades or the muscle relaxes. Now, you can easily do a lot of damage applying that much pressure, but luckily science have found that it's highly effective and of course a lot safer and less painful if you just apply moderate pressure for 10 seconds and then repeat for a total of 5 times. Now, the last technique I'll show you is by far the easiest, least painful and most effective, but you'll need to have a proper vibration massager like one of these. If you've got a massage gun, more information about them linked in the description, but they are just bastardized versions of these types of massages. They're a lot less effective and a lot more dangerous. They're not going to do a very good job, and you could do a lot of damage. Now, to use a vibration massager, there's details linked in the description, but basically all you do is find a spot and sit the machine on and count to 30. Now, the way they work is just like ultrasound with the vibrations penetrating and doing all the work. Now you've seen the techniques, let's do some actual massage on my calf. Now, starting at the back of my calf, this pic shows the top muscle. Now with all the pics I'll show you, the X's mark the common places where trigger points form, and the red show where they shoot pain to. Now you can see we're likely to find some spots just down from my knees and to each side. Now remember that we need to avoid that diamond area behind my knee. And I'll start with the flats of the fingers doing a general examination. Now if I find something suspicious, I'll examine a bit deeper. Now let's run through our choices if I find something. Now the first is a stroking technique. Now I'd normally put on some oil and I'd apply pressure and then slowly move towards my heart. Now if I found a spot that was a bit tight or tender, hold for 5 to 10 seconds before slowly moving on. That's always a good idea after any massage to examine the spot again just to make sure it's improved. Now the next technique is much simpler. If I find a spot that needs it, I apply moderate pressure and hold for 10 seconds. Release it and then reapply for a total of 5 times. Now that's something you can very easily do every day and just expect a gradual improvement. Now, there's a lot of videos showing to use balls, rollers and various contraptions to apply that pressure. You can get in a lot of trouble doing that, and it's pretty easy to apply your pressure with your thumbs and fingers, so just use these. Now the last technique is simple still, but as I said, you need a proper vibration massager like one of these. Now all you do is you sit the machine on for 30 seconds. Now if I examine afterwards, it's usually a huge improvement. Now looking at the next layer of muscles, the common spots are about 5 centimeters below my knee and just above my Achilles tendon. Now of course these are a bit deeper, but the techniques will be exactly the same. You can do the stroking type massage. Now what I'm doing here is I'm covering my thumb and applying pressure. Or we can use the pressure technique. Or, as I said before, very easy vibration massager Just sit the vibration massager on for 30 seconds and you're done. Now the last ones at your back of your calf are really deep, so you'll need to push in a bit further when you're doing examining to find them. Also, you find that these can be really tender. Again, you can do the stroking technique to apply the pressure. Now the muscle's very deep, so you'll need a fair bit of pressure, and I do it conservatively for a start because that muscle can end up being pretty tender after manual massage. Now that's when you'll be really happy to have a vibration massager. Now these vibrations penetrate deeply and do a great job without any pressure or pain. The last muscles we need to look at are the muscles at the front of your calf. Now these sit just outside your shin bone and they're nowhere near as thick as the ones at the back, so you won't need to have to worry about the really deep ones. As you can see from these diagrams, there are common spots for trigger points to develop all the way along these muscles, so you just systematically examine them and massage what you find. Now, all the techniques will work. For the stroking techniques, a good idea is to use your thumb, but apply pressure to your thumb with your other hand. The same thing works for holding pressure. Again, if you have a vibration massager, this is by far the most comfortable and most effective. As I said though, don't pick up a massage gun and think you're using a vibration massager. They're far less effective and can easily hurt you. Now I'll link in the description about how to choose something decent. Thank you very much for watching. It's been most appreciated.